welcome to another week with author E. Jamie. It's a shorter weekly vlog this week because yesterday was the only day that I went anywhere. Um, the day before, I had some filming to do, and today we got a bit of snow, a lot of snow, and it's like -11 or something outside, and I'm not going outside. So it's a bit of a cold one today, hence I am wrapped in my Jamie Fraser blanket. If you have not seen it before, I don't think I'll be able to show you the whole length of it, but that's the important part. Can we see his dang face, please? I don't know. Yeah, can you see? Yeah, okay, there we go. That's the important part. And it says, you have my name, my clan, my family. That whole quote. So it's cold. Let me wrap myself up. It's a cold one, so I am wrapping myself up in my Jamie Fraser today. Yeah, so went out on my walk yesterday, and it was lovely, so lovely. The weather was like so nice. You got your layers on, you're perfectly comfortable. It was like 6 degrees, but no like real wind chill. And then today it's cold. And the day before, I stayed home and did some filming. I recorded a reaction for the movie After the Promise, so keep an eye out for that. For the preview clip for that, because that's what you'll get here on my regular channel. And it's a movie from 1987, starring Mark Harmon from, I guess he's most famous for NCIS. And it's about a Depression-era father who, when his wife dies, he loses custody of his 4 sons and his sort of fight to get them back. And it is, as you can imagine, hella heartbreaking, and just tears were shed, y'all. And I had remembered that movie from when I was young, but there was a lot from it that I didn't remember, so I thought it was worth a rewatch. And I filmed a reaction for it. Let me get my coffee. My my voice already sort of like dry, or I guess my voice is still warming up because your girl woke up. Because your girl woke up and it takes her a while for the vocal cords to start working. Because I usually, if I'm like over at like somebody's house or something, I usually do not, when I wake up, I do not usually say a word until I've had my first sip of coffee. My voice just does not want to work. So, yeah, did recording yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and yesterday I went out on my walk, and little bit totally blew my New Year's resolution to not really buy any more books. But first, I got an email from Amazon saying that my Anne of Windy Poplars is actually going to be coming today. I went downstairs to check in the mailroom to see if it had already come. It would have been great to be able to show it to you before I started filming this, but it hasn't come yet. But it says it's going to come today, so very excited. And should I show you what I got, or should I show you what I'm reading and watching first? Let me show you what I got. So, blew my resolution, and ended up getting 6 books. Because this is my rationalization. I went to the post office to send some stuff, and um, across from it, there is this store called the Monkey's Paw that I wanted to, go in and check out. I hadn't intended to go in and buy anything because my plan was to go to my thrift store and buy one book and maybe like one classic. That was the only like extra leeway that I was going to allow myself. One book, one classic. Well, that didn't happen. What happened was across from the post office was another bookstore that I did not realize was there the first time that I went to that post office. And it's called Zoinks. Zoinks Music and Books. Like Zoinks. And so I went in there and I found some things. And I will show you those things now. So the first that I think I'm justified in having gotten this was I found they had a good like Lucy Maud Montgomery section. And I got Anne of Ingleside. And that is the book right after Anne of Windy Poplars. So I will, I'll have Anne of Windy Poplars, and then I'll have this one ready for it when I'm finished. I'm so happy about that. So I got that. And I put it over there, I guess. And I got this Penguin Black Classic, which these are my favorites, like classics. And it's by Ippolito Nievo, and it's Confessions of an Italian. This just screams classic to me. However, I also found another Paper Mill Press classic, and those are also my favorite classics because they are so gorgeous. I showed you guys the Three Musketeers edition of Paper Mill Press that I got, and then I found this Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and I just loved this cover. And they had a few other ones there, so I will definitely be going back. And it was a really good bookstore. It was weird because they had it wasn't mostly like popular fiction so much, but and they had like more of a classic literature, literary fiction feel, but I just liked it better. I liked the feel of it better. It kind of reminded me of the store that I went to last week that I told you guys about that mostly had also classic and like literary sort of fiction. It had like that same sort of vibe, and it had just had like so many books, and just definitely one that I will be going to again. So those are the three that I got from that book. Then I went to the store that I wanted to check out, though I had no intention of buying anything in there, and it was the Monkey's Paw. And that one is a purely like vintage fiction, or not necessarily fiction, because their fiction section was like pretty small, and it was just pretty much classics. But it was a vintage bookstore, and I mean like really vintage, like those like leather bound, falling apart kind of books. I mean, they had like cookbooks from like the 1920s, and they had like the Emily Post book on like etiquette, and they had like art books from like the 1800s, and like those. That's what I mean by like vintage. Um, so I didn't really end up getting anything in there, but it was just really beautiful to just sort of walk around and like look at all the the antique books in there. Uh, so yeah. Then I had to go to the library to drop some stuff off, and you know how I said that they had the little book sale section. So I went in there and I got a couple books. Now, to justify, I got their hardcovers are $2. Their paperbacks are $1. So I got 3 of their paperbacks. So I only spent $3. And they are all pretty much classics. Those were just the ones that like kind of that I wanted to sort of grab and have, and just to sort of like see if I like them, kind of thing. As we sort of dip our toe into more classic literature. I found Leo Tolstoy's Family Happiness. The receipt in there. Leo Tolstoy's Family Happiness, and it's actually a few short stories of his, and I think, is there it says that there's a bonus short story. Oh, there we are. Oh, that's the okay. There's a bonus short story called Life Expectancy from not Leo Tolstoy, but Holly Goddard Jones. So it's a few, I think 3, no, excuse me, there's 2 Leo Tolstoy stories, and then a third is a extra story from Holly Goddard Jones, Life Expectancy. So, bonus, did not expect that. Expected, see what I did there. That was not on purpose. And coffee. Next is E.M. Forster's A Passage to India, which I heard people talk about, heard good things about. So I've heard good things about E.M. Forster, just sort of as just in general. And it's a Penguin classic, but it's not my black Penguin classic. It's like a gray, silvery. So yeah, set in 1924 in India. Yeah, which I have this, real love for books sort of set in India for some reason. I don't know why. And lastly, I got Between the Acts by Virginia Woolf. And it's a novel. Oh, it was her last. It's her last novel. And yeah, because Virginia Woolf, I did not know this, had taken her own life. Oof, I did not know that. I knew Sylvia Plath had, but I didn't know Virginia Woolf had. So this is her last novel. Um, yeah, so those are the books that I bought. And since the Windy Poplars is being delivered today, I ordered already my next book that I'm allowing myself to order like one book and then like not, go online and order any more books until like that one comes. That's my attempt at discipline. And Anna Windy Poplars is going to be delivered today, and so I ordered the next book, which is a Karen White, The Last Night in London. The Last Night in London, yeah. And it's set during World War II, and I'm all about that. And that one's supposed to come on the 27th. So, trying to stick to my rule, failing pretty much. My resolution failing pretty much. And yeah. So that's what I did yesterday. And today I'm not going anywhere because it's like minus stay at home Celsius, and it snowed, so there's like, and the wind is like blowing, and it's just very cold. So I'm going to be staying home, editing last week's vlog, and going to be watching some stuff. I finished. Don't remember if I finished this in the last week's vlog, but I don't think so. But I finished Alessandro's Prize by Helen Bianchen, and it was just lovely. He was just lovely. He was a lovely hero. Got a little overbearing towards the end there, but it was not without reason, because her life was in danger. And I just thought he was I think, the most likable alpha hero that I've read in a presents in a long time. Alessandro was. I loved that. She finally said yes. She finally said yes. Anne of the Island, I finished. I loved. I had thoughts. I R.I.P. Ruby Gillis. Diana Barry got married. And Anne finally got out of her own way and allowed herself to be happy. And it took sort of Gilbert getting very sick and sort of almost dying, her to realize how much fighting her feelings for him was stupid, and how much she really did want to be with him. And so, bye-bye, Roy Gardner. Bye-bye. You can go away now. And sent him on his way. And after like Gilbert healed and everything, and he proposed again, and she said yes, and I'm so happy. It's just wonderful. The feeling of just calmness and peace and goodness that this woman's writing style gives to me, I cannot explain to you. I just can't. And I am so glad that I have essentially 2 books waiting for me next in the series. Because Windy Poplars is coming today. And I have Anne of Ingleside. And read it. Anne's House of Dreams. I think I have that one too, or did I imagine that? I did not imagine that. I do have Anne's House of Dreams waiting for me. So I have three. I have three waiting for me. I'm so happy that I'm not going to run out anytime soon. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that I have these waiting for me. So I finished those two. Right now I am still reading The Wolf by Lorenzo Carcaterra. Enjoying it very, very much. It's his family, his wife and two daughters have already been killed after a sort of plane gets hijacked by terrorists, and he was saved by the fact that he and his son were saved just by the fact that they had taken another plane. So he has gotten together pretty much all the mafia families, and they've come up with a plan to cripple the terrorist networks. I don't think I really understand what the plan is and how this is going to happen, but I'm going along for the ride. I'm going along for the ride. So I'm enjoying it very much. I am also reading so this one is my work book, and this one is the one that I'm reading sort of at home in between doing things, and it's The Birth of Venus by Sarah Dunnett, who I absolutely adore her writing style. I love her books that I have. One of them that I have on my keeper shelf, Sacred Hearts, and this one is another one that sort of takes place or sort of revolves around. There's sort of a through line of a convent. But right now we're not in the convent, where our heroine is still a young girl living with her family, and her father hires a painter to come and paint their portraits. And I imagine things are going to happen between our heroine and this painter. So loving the writing style. I'm annotating it just with particular lines that I love. That's what I'm reading, and I read my one Pablo Neruda poem that I'm trying to just stick to one poem sort of a day, and the last one I read Body of woman, white hills, white thighs, you look like the world in your posture of surrender. And this is the line that I underlined. My savage peasant body digs through you and makes the sun leap from the depth of the earth. I went alone as a tunnel, birds fled from me, and night invaded me with her powerful force. To survive myself, I forged you like a weapon, like an arrow in my bow, like a stone in my sling. But the hour of vengeance falls, and I love you. Body of skin, of moss, of avid steady milk. Ah, the goblets of the breasts. Ah, the eyes of absence. Ah, the roses of the pubis. Ah, your voice low and sad. Body of my woman, I will persist in your grace. My thirst, my boundless yearning, my indecisive path. Dark riverbeds where eternal thirst follows, and fatigue follows, and infinite sorrow. I love the passion of his poetry. so, so very much. And yesterday I watched 2 documentaries. One was one was called Ferrante Fever, and was about Elena Ferrante, the author, who I had never heard of before, before I saw a few booktubers that I follow talk about her. But apparently she's been really famous for a while, because this documentary was made in 2017. And she is a Italian author, who writes primarily stories about women, I believe. And there's a bit of mystery surrounding her, in that nobody knows who she is, the author. Like, she's never appeared publicly. There are no photographs of her. She very much stays out of the public eye. Which, my first instinct when I heard that was pretension. It just sounds really, really just pretentious. However, she has that right. Like, she has the right to decide how she wants to be perceived or not perceived. Her belief is just that her books should speak for themselves, and you don't have a right to know anything about her. All she owes you is her books. And on the one hand, I can agree with that and respect that and understand that, because I've seen sort of the celebrity of authorship, and what, especially today with like social media and trolls and just BS that happens like online, and like cancel culture, where if an author does or says something that you don't like, there are teams of idiots who will go after that author to try and like destroy their career. There are authors that I don't like. There are authors that I don't like, not necessarily because of their books, because they're authors that I like their books. I just don't like them as sort of people, and like their stances on things and stuff. But I'm not gonna go out and like try and destroy their careers and just destroy them sort of as people. I just won't buy their books. And so in sort of that world that it is now, I can sort of understand her view of like not wanting to be a public persona at all. Because I think, like, I'm on here and I'm doing these vlogs, and I'm a public face to promote sort of my books and the books that I write. But I really don't want that sort of like, I really don't look forward to sort of that kind of fame, like the Nora Roberts level of fame, the J.K. Rowling level of fame, the Nicholas Sparks level of fame, the Diana Gabaldon sort of level of fame. Because while I want people to read my books, and I don't have a problem with people like knowing sort of who I am and stuff, because I'm pretty small potatoes at this point, the bigger you get, the harder they sort of come after you, and I hate sort of like taking this view of it, but the sort of woke generation or the woke social media users, because woke by itself is a very good thing, in that you're enlightened. You understand that, you know, people deserve equal rights, and people deserve, you know, good things, and to be respected, and like, you understand that, and that is what woke should be. But just like certain factions of feminism, and just like certain Christians, they've perverted sort of the meaning of the word with their zeal to sort of go after anybody who does or says something that is essentially, if they say like a stupid thing, they come at them with like pitchforks, like a mob with pitchforks. So I can understand in that point her not wanting to subject herself to that. But then there's the other side of me who just kind of thinks it's pretentious. So I'm kind of torn. But it was a fantastic documentary. You know, it made me like really, really want to read her books. And I have My Brilliant Friend on my somewhere there. I don't think I've done a book haul of it. I don't think. So it's probably still there to be shown to you guys. So I have that. And apparently that's the first book in a quartet, the Neapolitan novels, I think it's called. So that's what I watched yesterday. And I also watched When the Bough Breaks, a documentary about postpartum depression. And this one was very sad, and it's very, very powerful. That gut punch at the end was just heartbreaking. And it's about postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis, which they're trying to get more lawmakers to consider in cases of infanticide, where mothers, after giving birth, they experience this mental sort of break, and which causes them to kill their children, and to acknowledge it as a real mental disorder, and sort of do more work to take care of mothers. So it was a fantastic documentary. Cannot recommend enough. So that's what I did yesterday. I'm still working on my historical romance, Wanted, polishing that up, and going to be republishing that. So working on that. Today I'm going to be working on Good Women, and that is also a historical romance about two women in the 1920s, 1930s, kind of seeking their fortune in LA in the 1920s, 1930s. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be working on today. And I'm going to be editing last week's vlog. I'm going to be got this documentary on Tina Turner. I'll be watching that today, so looking forward to that. And going to be making some pasta for lunch, and that's about it. I don't think that I have anything else that I mean to mention. So, yeah, I'm just very happy that I have a few Anne books and the Anne series, a few books in that series waiting for me, so that I won't run out anytime soon. Yeah, gonna get some writing done, gonna get some reading done, gonna get some watching done, and soon I'm about to start to get ready to get some eating done. Back to work tomorrow, and the weather's supposed to get even colder, which is gonna suck, but hopefully it'll make work quieter. Yeah. So, yeah, I felt really, really good after my walk yesterday. So I'm very glad that I was able to do that. So hopefully on my next day off the weather will be better, so I can go and like do more walks, because those have been, definitely want to keep that up in 2023. So yep, I will talk to you guys next time.